Hello, I'm really pleased to welcome you to Caffrey's beautiful Greenmount Campus, which is only 20 miles from Belfast and halfway between the historic town of Antrim and Belfast International Airport. I'm standing outside this very impressive manor house, which opened its doors to its first students in 1912. It has grown considerably since then, with over 1,000 students now studying a range of courses in agriculture, horticulture, floristry, land-based engineering and veterinary nursing. Greenmount really has superb facilities. This, combined with staff that have a very close association with the agri-food industry, has led to Greenmount having an internationally recognised reputation for excellence. In fact, many of the leaders in the agri-food industry today have passed through these doors and accredit Greenmount for their success. But perhaps more importantly, it wasn't just the learning they remember, but the lifelong friends and crack they had while they were students here. And that hasn't changed. The campus is still buzzing and there is a real sense of community spirit here, which people will remember long after they graduate. It is a beautiful place to study with a lot of investment in teaching and learning resources. And it doesn't stop there. Over the next number of years, there will be even more investment in new staff and student accommodation and science facilities. Greenmount really is the place to be and has lots to offer. So welcome, and I hope you enjoy our virtual tour.
Good evening everyone, and a very warm welcome to our virtual event for veterinary nursing education at Caffrey. My name is George Moffat and I am the Head of Agriculture Education and the Head of Centre for our veterinary nursing provision. Caffrey is the College of Agriculture, Food and Rural Enterprise, and we are an integral part of the Department of Agriculture, Environment and Rural Affairs in Northern Ireland. We have three campuses: Enniskillen Campus in County Fermanagh, where equine education is the focus along with some part-time agriculture. Then Loughry Campus in Cookstown, where we deliver courses in food technology and our postgraduate provision, and then Greenmount Campus in Antrim. And at Greenmount we provide education courses in agriculture, horticulture, land-based engineering, veterinary nursing and floristry. The education courses delivered at Caffrey are all applied in nature, and the phrase learning by doing is used quite frequently. The applied nature of our courses is also reflected in the facilities at each campus, and we'll hear more about those later on. We also receive great support from our industry, and at the end of courses and 6 months after graduation, 90% and above of our graduates are either in employment or in further study. This evening our focus is on our veterinary nursing provision, and to help me tell you about the courses that we have on offer, I am joined with course manager Siobhan Shepherd and member of the veterinary nursing teaching team Louise Patterson, and we'll hear more from Siobhan and Louise later on. Normally each October we open the doors of Greenmount Campus and invite prospective students and their parents and guardians onto the campus to tell them about the courses we have on offer and to let them see the excellent facilities that we have on site. Unfortunately, that's not possible this year, but over the next 30 minutes we want to tell you about our veterinary nursing provision. We'll take a virtual tour of our facilities and we'll hear from both Siobhan and Louise and one of our students. This is a live event, so please remember to give us a thumbs up as we go through this evening, and if you have any questions that you would like to ask, please submit those as well, and if we have time we'll answer them during the event, but if not we'll get back to you later on. We're going to turn now to Siobhan, who's course manager for the veterinary nursing provision. Siobhan, thank you for joining us this evening, and maybe before we get into the course details, can you tell us a little bit about how you've ended up in the role you're in currently?
Of course, George. I'm the course manager for the two courses that we're going to focus on tonight. I started working at Caffrey about 10 years ago and have managed a range of courses and programmes during those 10 years. My background is I graduated with an agriculture and business studies degree from the University of Wales, and I went on to do a master's in meat science. I worked then for some years in the private sector, in the agri-food sector and for local government before starting Caffrey, as I said, 10 years ago.
Okay, thank you. And you mentioned in your introduction that you're going to tell us about two courses that we have available here in Caffrey. Can you tell us about those briefly first of all?
Yes, we have two courses that really are tailored for those people that want to work in veterinary practices. There's a level 2 certificate in veterinary care support, and we also have a level 3 diploma in veterinary nursing in companion animal.
Okay, and if we focus then on the level 2 course, can you go into a little more detail on that?
Of course, the level 2 course is a 1-year course. It starts in September and ends in June, so it's 1 academic year. Students would be required to come to campus here at Greenmount near Antrim for 1 day a week, and then they would have to complete a minimum of 600 hours in any veterinary practice in Northern Ireland, which works out about 18 hours a week for the duration of the course. That can be paid or unpaid in a voluntary capacity or employed, and as I said, it can be in any veterinary practice in Northern Ireland. That course will prepare students to work in a role such as a veterinary care assistant, an animal nursing assistant, and that auxiliary role that would support a nurse or a vet in a veterinary practice. The units they cover, again, is wide-ranging, but also linked to the role. So they'll cover things like anatomy, animal accommodation, nutrition, veterinary care supports duties, also a bit about patient care and client communications with the pet owners, etc. This is a really good course for the entry point for this career path. Really is suitable for school leavers, 16, 17, and also career changers that maybe like the idea of working in this particular career pathway.
Okay, thank you. And then if we go into and look at the level 3 course.
The level 3 course is a diploma in veterinary nursing companion animals. That is a course that would take 2.5 years to complete. Again, students would come to campus here at Greenmount 1 day per week, and then they would be working almost full-time as an employed member of staff in an approved veterinary training practice. And they will be employed in the capacity of a student veterinary nurse, and they will be carrying out the duties while they work. That course is quite intensive and again covers a wide range of topics such as anatomy, anaesthesia, radiography, emergency nursing, nursing care, also nutrition. But again, really important clinical skills will be developed while the student is working in the practice. The student will have to complete just under 3,000 hours, which is a combination of their time in college and the clinical hours which they will do in their workplace to go forward then to join the professional registration which is held by the RCVS. Okay,
and just when you mention the RCVS or the Royal College of Veterinary Surgeons, what is their role in this course and in the profession?
The RCVS stands for the Royal College of Veterinary Surgeons, and that professional body regulates both veterinary nursing profession and veterinary surgeons profession. CAFRE is an approved centre to deliver the training, in addition to being approved by the awarding body, VetSkills. The RCVS approve us to deliver that training. They also then regulate our nurses when they're training and when they join the professional body, when they qualify. Student nurses will join that register when they've completed the level 3, and then to maintain that registration once they're qualified, they're required to carry out continuous professional development, or CPD, to keep their skills very current and day one ready, which means they're ready to practice in all eventualities in regards to their clinical role in practice.
Okay, thanks. And Siobhan, for both courses that we've talked about there, are the fees that the students would pay to complete those courses?
There is. The level 2 certificate in veterinary care support costs £400, and that's paid at the start of the 1 year course. The level 3 diploma in veterinary nursing, the fees are £1,400 in total, and that's a combination of registration fees with the professional body, tuition fees and examination costs.
Okay, and Siobhan, if anyone is interested in applying, can you tell us how they can find out more information?
Yeah, certainly. The CAFRE website is the first point of contact. On the website, there's quite detailed information on both courses. There's frequently asked questions, which would summarise most queries that we would get on these two courses. There's also detail of the fees, the entry requirements, also the application forms there, which they would download and complete. They also need to get the practice that would be supporting their placement or their employment to co-sign that application form before they submit it to us.
Okay, thanks, Siobhan. Siobhan has given us a really good overview of both courses that we have available, Level 2 in Veterinary Care and Level 3 in Veterinary Nursing. And we're now going to hear from a current student on the Level 3 Diploma in Veterinary Nursing. That is Laura McKillop, and Laura is in her final year.
So, hi Laura.
Hi.
Laura, the first thing I want to ask you is, why did you decide to make your career in veterinary nursing?
For a long time, working with animals was something, that I'd always wanted to do, and veterinary nursing was the best way to do it. So after a lot of research and investigation, I found my practice and I found Caffrey, so I made my way in.
All right, that's good. Did you have another career before you decided on veterinary nursing? Were you doing something else?
I did. I was in a completely different field. I was in security before veterinary nursing, and I'd always planned on it being a stepping stone. So I was just glad that I found my way into nursing eventually.
Right, that's very interesting. So did you, when you were thinking about coming to Caffrey, obviously to do the diploma in veterinary nursing, there is an alternative route to becoming a registered veterinary nurse, and that's the degree course, which is usually offered at colleges and universities in the UK. Did you consider that?
I researched it, and apart from the fact that I'm a home bird, I preferred the opportunities and the chance that the diploma and that it would give me. So I know a few students who have done the degree across the water, and I like the way the diploma is set out. You have a lot more opportunity for practical experience, and that's very much an important part of veterinary nursing. So I love the potential for there to be, a lot more practical experience going hand in hand with your learning, rather than the degree option of doing it the reverse.
Yeah, that's one of the advantages I think that I find in teaching it, is that I can be talking to somebody, on a Tuesday about radiology, and they're able to put into practice, within 24 hours what I've been telling them. Rather than be, if they were a full-time student, they might not get the opportunity for 3-4 months to do that. So yeah, it has its advantages. So overall, how have you found your time at Caffrey? You're sort of coming to the end of your time.
Yeah, I've loved Caffrey. And many moons ago, I studied at Queen's University, and I say now I have loved my time at Caffrey more than I loved my time at Queen's many moons ago. It's a great atmosphere. The people are brilliant. I've made amazing friends in my class, and it helps that we're all there for the same thing. We've all got the same interests and passion for this career. And the teaching staff are amazing. Any help that you need, you just have to ask. So I've loved my time at Caffrey.
And how have you found being a student at the same time as you're doing, basically a full-time job as well?
It's been tough, but I've loved it. It's, as you say, you're in college, you go to college and you learn your theory, and the very next day you're in, working, doing it practically. It is hard. You're doing your full-time job and you're coming home and you're having to make time to study, as well as, have your family and your friends, but it's definitely a juggling act. It's worth it.
Okay. Can you tell us a bit about where you work and what duties you might have in a typical day, if there is such a thing as a typical day in practice?
So I work in a busy practice in Belfast, and at the moment, kind of in the middle of the pandemic, we're dealing with emergencies, all emergencies at the moment. So some days you could be in theatre, you could be rushing into theatre to do anaesthetics, or scrubbing in to help the vet. Days you can be consulting and triaging, so you're out the front, you're the first port of call for the patients to come in, or you could be out the back, monitoring and maintaining and helping the patients that are admitted to the hospital, helping with their medication, making sure that they're stable and comfortable. And so there's not really such a thing as a typical day, but every day you're doing something really interesting, and no 2 days are the same. I love the variety, that you see in everyday practice. I would love to go on, kind of after CAFRE and, complete my surgical certificate, and, hone my skills a bit more there. But like at the moment, I'm loving the variety, and it helps you see every aspect of practice. And definitely learning and doing veterinary nursing this way has made me fall in love with surgery in particular.
Good. Finally then, what advice would you give for prospective students who are interested in working in this area in veterinary nursing?
Get as much experience as you can, whether it's volunteering, at your local practice or animal shelters, and don't be afraid to put in the hard work. It's not all puppies, kittens, and cute fluffy things. You do get those, but it's a hard job, but it's such a rewarding job. So if you're going to pursue this career, do your research, get your experience, and be ready to put in the work.
That's great. Thank you very much, Laura.
No problem.
Thanks to Laura, who's given us a really good flavour of life at Greenmount for a veterinary nursing student, her career path to date, and her plans for the future. Now, apologies, I understand that we lost some sound during our earlier discussion with Siobhan, and we have a query in, Siobhan, that maybe we can address now, and it was to recap on the fees for the veterinary nursing courses.
Yeah, of course, the level 2 certificate in veterinary care support, the fees are £400 and they are paid at the start of the year for that 1 year course. The level 3 diploma in veterinary nursing, the fees accumulate to £1,400, and that's a combination of tuition fees, registration fees and exam costs. And again, they are paid, the bulk of them are paid at the start of first year and then throughout the remainder of the course.
Okay, thanks, Siobhan. And Siobhan, before we leave you, just one other question that's come in from Amanda, and that is, what does a student need in terms of qualifications for entry to the veterinary nursing course?
The entry requirements are really well laid out on the website, and I would encourage Amanda to look at the website initially, because there is quite a number of criteria they have to meet the entry requirements for the level 3 course. And there's also a webinar on the website, which again is a selection of slides, very detailed on the entry requirements, which she should find very useful. If she still has any queries, then she can contact ourselves.
That's great, Siobhan. So again, just to refer anybody with queries on the course to the CAFRE website and the very detailed webinar that's available there. At this stage, I'm now going to introduce a member of the veterinary nursing teaching team, that is Louise Patterson. And Louise, before we get into the details of the course, maybe you could explain about your career to date and how you've ended up on the veterinary nursing team.
Okay. I was really lucky to get my first job in a CAFRE approved training practice, and this meant that I could be accepted onto the level 3 course, and I started my journey then straight in the level 3 veterinary nursing course. I completed this with help and support from the teaching team at the time. They were fantastic with me, and once I finished, I then moved up the ranks in practice to become senior nurse. And in addition to my nursing duties, I had the role of training and mentoring our student nurses, and it's something I found I really enjoyed, something that I kind of then made me think about teaching, after a certain amount of time. So when I saw the job here at Caffrey, I jumped at the opportunity, and I'm still here today.
That's great, Louise, thank you. And thinking about the two courses then, could you tell us first of all what a typical day would be like for, say, a level 3 veterinary nursing student at Caffrey here?
Yeah, we try to vary it. There's a lot of theory, there's a lot for them to learn, and we try to break that up as much as possible. So we'll take them for practicals, that might be in diagnostic imaging, nursing care, surgical skills as far as nursing goes with Schedule 3. We'll also try and get them upstairs to the lab and invite in guest speakers where we can, so industry experts, maybe on nutrition and lab skills and on behaviour, for instance.
So a really good mixture of theory and practical,
Yeah.
and then the students have the opportunity to put into practice what they learn when they go back to work.
Absolutely.
That's great. Both yourself, Louise, and Siobhan mentioned that students on the level 3 course complete their employment in an approved Caffrey training practice.
Yes.
For a student listening tonight, or prospective student listening tonight, can you explain a little bit what that means?
To become a Caffrey approved training practice, it assures you as the student that the practice has been inspected by one of us here at the college, and it means that the practice has the correct caseload, the correct variety, equipment, and also qualified staff that can support the student through their training and through their veterinary nursing journey.
Okay, and that training practice will remain approved as long as a Caffrey student is working in that practice?
Absolutely. As long as they have a Caffrey student, we will support them every year.
Okay, and again, if we've members of veterinary practices listening who are interested in maybe employing a student nurse, how do they go about becoming an approved practice?
They can contact us here at the college, and we'll start communications with them, and somebody from the team will go out and visit, and we direct them through the whole process and support them.
Okay, thanks, Louise. Louise has mentioned in our discussion there about the mix of practical and theory on the veterinary nursing and veterinary care courses, and we're now going to have a virtual tour of the facilities on campus here for the delivery of both veterinary nursing courses.
We offer a Level 2 certificate in veterinary care support course aimed at students who wish to train as an auxiliary veterinary care assistant, and a Level 3 diploma in veterinary nursing. Both courses focus on the care and support of companion animals or common family pets. On campus, students have full access to the Veterinary Nursing Centre, which mirrors aspects of their working environment in a veterinary practice. The Veterinary Nursing Centre contains X-ray equipment, anaesthetic equipment, an ultrasound machine and a surgical suite. Staff make use of a range of skeletons and anatomical mannequins to illustrate the anatomy of the companion animals which students will be learning about. The students also have access to the Greenmount laboratories, which have a range of microscopes, centrifuges and refractometers to carry out common veterinary tests. Students who are enrolled on the Level 2 or Level 3 course spend a considerable amount of time in their chosen veterinary practice. They will be working with a clinical team of nurses and vets in practice while spending 1 day a week on campus. The level of the course will determine what duties and clinical skills that can be taught to the student. Level 2 students will develop important auxiliary nursing skills to support the registered veterinary nurse and vet in practice. By working and learning on campus and in practice simultaneously, students get to put their skills into use every day in the veterinary practice. Level 3 student nurses work towards joining the professional register for veterinary nurses held by the Royal College of Veterinary Surgeons. To join the register, Caffrey Level 3 student nurses must demonstrate they have mastered the Day 1 skills expected of any nurse who trains in the UK. These Day 1 skills relate to the safe and effective care of small animals and ensure the highest standards of care are maintained within the profession. Such skills include safe working practices, maintaining an animal's accommodation, providing feed and water, and carrying out basic nursing care. Level 2 students will also learn the anatomy of the companion animals they will be looking after in practice. Students will be shown the correct and safe methods of preparing and supporting the patient for investigative procedures such as endoscope, ultrasound and X-ray examinations. Students will learn important life-saving techniques and how they can support the veterinary team during life-saving procedures. All Level 3 student nurses focus on the essential Day 1 core skills necessary to carry out safe and effective general practice nursing, support common procedures and treatments in cats, dogs, rabbits and guinea pigs. However, once qualified, nurses can specialise in various aspects of veterinary nursing, for example orthopaedic or emergency nursing. I hope I have been able to show you CAFRE provides unique facilities bespoke for training those who wish to work within small animal veterinary care and nursing. The underpinning knowledge and practical skills taught on campus reinforce the time spent in a veterinary practice, ensuring students are fully trained, competent, safe practitioners in the profession.
Hopefully our virtual tour has given you a good oversight of the facilities that we have on campus for the delivery of our veterinary nursing courses. Siobhan, if I come to you now and just maybe pick up on a couple of common questions we often get in relation to veterinary nursing provision. So if a student completes the level 2 course, can they progress on to the level 3?
Yes, they can. That would be subject to meeting the entry requirements for the level 3, which, as we've said, are really detailed and on the website. The level 2 course is a really good entry point for people that are interested in this career path, that maybe are changing their career. So a lot of people do start at level 2, and we would find about a third to 50% will progress to a level 3. Now they need to be mindful that there'll be a separate entry requirements, and it would be really important that they're in a CAFRE approved training practice to access that level 3 progression.
Okay. And in terms of, Siobhan, the animals studied as part of both courses, is it a full range of animals, or do the courses focus on any particular species?
Both courses focus on traditional companion animals, which would be dogs, cats, guinea pigs and rabbits. Those are the common pets that would be found in Northern Ireland veterinary practices. So we are training people obviously to work in practices in Northern Ireland. So that would be the main species they focus on the 2 courses. Okay,
thanks Siobhan. And I'm going to move to Louise now, and a question, Louise, that's come in from Adeline. And Adeline is asking what a typical day for a qualified level 2 student would be in employment.
A typical day in practice for a veterinary care assistant would be supporting the vets and nurses in the team. Their main responsibilities would be patient care and practice hygiene, but they're essential to the runnings of the practice.
Okay, and Louise, you have told us, as a qualified veterinary nurse, that you have worked in practice and now you're in teaching. So what other opportunities are available for qualified nurses?
Post-qualification, well, I did a teaching qualification to get me here, but I've also specialised in exotics. So I have advanced certificates in the nursing of exotics and also a diploma in the veterinary nursing of zoological species.
So really, once a nurse qualifies, there's various doors that can open and various career paths that they can take.
That's right. Depending on your interests, there's usually a course available to suit what you're interested in and where you want to take it.
Okay, thanks Louise. Time for another virtual tour, and this time we're going to look at the teaching and residential facilities available at the campus here. Now, for veterinary nursing and veterinary care assistants who are only on site 1 day a week, normally the accommodation option isn't taken, but the next virtual tour given by William Hendry, who's a foundation degree in agriculture student, will give you a really good insight into the teaching and facilities on site here at Greenmount.
My name is William Hendry and I'm a first year student here in the foundation degree in agriculture and technology course. I would like to show you around and let you see what's on offer for students who choose to live on campus. The under 18 students live in either Boyd or Fulton Hall. The bedrooms in Boyd Hall are ensuite and are cosy and comfortable, while Fulton Hall has a single study bedrooms which are shared bathroom facilities for a small number of students. The over 18 students stay in the self-catering accommodation in the student village, either in one of the bungalows or a lodge. Around 12 students live in each of the lodges and 3 in each of the bungalows. The bedrooms in the lodges are all ensuite and there's a shared kitchen, sitting room, laundry facilities. Every evening, students living in campus accommodation are looked after by the residential support team. These staff, with the Student Representative Council, arrange activities for the students like going to the cinema, ice skating, various sporting activities or outings to Belfast. There is a gym in Greenmount Resource Centre and Sports Hall as well. The residential support team also look after the safety and security of students when they are on site. The main place to eat on campus is the Manor restaurant, which is open throughout the day from 8 in the morning to 6 at night and provides a great range of meals. The Cyber Cafe, which is in Greenmount Resource Centre, also offers snacks and drinks from 10 in the morning, so there's absolutely no excuse for anybody to go hungry. Most under 18 students have a cater card, which their parents or guardians preload with money, so you don't have to carry cash about, which is very handy. One of the main places on campus for classes and recreation is the Greenmount Resource Centre, or as we call it, the GRC. This is where most of the classrooms, lecture theatres and IT suites are. The Student Services Manager, Leslie Ann's office, is here too, and she can help with any queries or issues you may have. Also, this is where some of the residential support team are found in the evenings. The Cyber Cafe is also located in the GRC and serves food, which is also the main social hub for students to hang out. There's TVs, pool tables, football, as well as table tennis and computers to play games on. The core to any college is the library, and I have to say, all the students love the newly refurbished library here at Greenmount. It has a great selection of relevant journals and books, as well as an extensive collection of e-learning materials. The library is also a great place to study if you want just a bit of peace and quiet. Greenmount is only 3 miles away from the town of Antrim. It has everything you will need in terms of shopping, cafes, restaurants and entertainment, and it is also around 30 minutes from Belfast. When you live on campus, it is so easy to make friends and there is a real sense of community. Living away from home has made me much more independent, and I love the freedom of doing my own thing. I hope you enjoyed the tour, and maybe I will see you here next year.
Thanks to William for that quick tour of our residential and teaching accommodation. And as you can see, we have excellent facilities for the delivery of all courses here at Greenmount Campus. William in his tour mentioned the role of the residential support team, and I want to mention the role of another member of staff, and that is our student support officer. And that person is responsible for helping those students who have particular learning needs or require support to help them complete their qualification. And students applying would declare those needs, and then when they arrive on campus they would have a meeting and the support required would be put in place for the duration of their course. We're almost at the end of our event, but remember we're still live, so remember those thumbs ups. And Siobhan, I have a couple of questions that have come in and we'll turn to those now. First of all, from Jenny, why does the college not offer any higher education courses or foundation degree, for example, in veterinary nursing?
The profession of veterinary nursing is quite unique in that, as I mentioned, the Royal College of Veterinary Surgeons, the RCVS, regulate the pathways that they permit for students to follow that will ultimately join their register. So the level 3 diploma nurse and a degree nurse will actually join the register at the same point, so they will both become a registered veterinary nurse. The level 3 diploma currently is held really high in regards to practices, because they feel the student is getting a lot of vocational hands-on training. So at the moment we're not in a position to be offering the degree, because at the moment the need and the level 3 diploma is really serving the veterinary practices really, really well. Okay,
thanks Siobhan. And then with a further question in about, again, the species covered on the course, and asking us, are any large animals included? But as Siobhan has already said, the course focuses on mainly companion animals with some exotics as well. Okay, so we're at the end of our virtual event now. I just want to take a couple of minutes to sum up. And as you've heard this evening, we offer 2 courses in veterinary nursing here at CAFRE, a level 2 qualification for veterinary care assistants, and that is a 1-year course, and the students come to college 1 day a week and then gain practical experience in a veterinary practice for the remainder of their time. We then have a level 3 diploma in veterinary nursing. That is the qualification that leads students to becoming a registered veterinary nurse with the Royal College of Veterinary Surgeons. That course lasts for 2.5 years and involves attendance at college 1 day a week. and working as well and being employed in an approved CAFRE training practice. And just to remind you as well that full details of both courses that we've discussed this evening can be found on the CAFRE website, where there is also a very detailed webinar which gives full details, entry requirements, course duration and other information about both courses. So at this stage I want to thank you for joining us on our live stream this evening, and also to thank all those who took part, to Siobhan and to Louise and to Laura and everyone else who took us on virtual tours throughout this evening. I want to thank the production team as well, who's organised and put the event together. And to you who are listening, hopefully you've got a lot of good information, and I look forward to possibly welcoming you to CAFRE in the near future. So thank you for listening, and good evening.